Hi there, this is Josh from Literary Gladiators, and today I'm here to talk to you about Hamlet by William Shakespeare. Hamlet is the play that won the play aspect of the third Roundtable Read here on Literary Gladiators, so many of us will be reading and either reviewing or discussing Hamlet by William Shakespeare. I'm taking the route of a discussion. Many of people know about the basic plot structure of Hamlet. I'm pretty sure just about everybody knows about Hamlet. If they don't necessarily know about Hamlet, I would imagine even more people know about To Be or Not to Be. Aside from the allusion to Romeo and Juliet being the definition of a passionate couple that loves one another intensely, the next most alluded to Shakespeare creation is Hamlet's soliloquy of To Be or Not to Be. However, To Be or Not to Be is frequently misunderstood. It's not pondering one of life's decisions, but instead it's pondering the decision about life itself. So it's not to be taken lightly, like whether or not you should go to McDonald's or to order or not to order a Big Mac. When Hamlet gives that soliloquy in the form of a monologue, he's questioning whether or not he should still be living, because he's in a very stressful situation. The plot of the story leads up to that, because Hamlet's father was killed by his brother, Hamlet's uncle, and his father, the king's brother, Claudius. Claudius marries Hamlet's mother, Gertrude, and becomes the king. And Hamlet is very mentally distressed. I think that part of it is the kind of person he is, but the other aspect is the traumatic experience of losing a parent that brutally. And Horatio, having spoken with his father's ghost, brings it to Hamlet's attention, who in turn speaks to his father, the ghost, who wants vengeance on Claudius for what he had done. And the fact that Gertrude just went along with it is just it's just a very saddening circumstance. You can see where she may have been forced into it, which there's a lot of that aspect of, if you don't do this, off with your head. But I think that leads to how unique the story of Hamlet seems to take fruition. Joseph Brodsky put together a list of works that people should read in order to have an intelligent conversation. And he named 4 Shakespeare plays: Macbeth, King Richard III, Antony and Cleopatra, and Hamlet. And I think that Hamlet is manna as far as critical analysis is concerned. It's probably the one that scholars and analysts and critics are going to be very inclined in delving into, especially when it comes to the psychological aspect, because Hamlet offers a lot, and so does Ophelia, who she also starts to lose her mind after the death of her father, Polonius. But she kind of takes a different direction. So there's different responses to a mental reaction due to a traumatic experience and how that is concerned. And we don't necessarily get as much of a background on Ophelia, aside from what others say, because we're primarily, we more so get the vantage point of Hamlet, other characters, but not necessarily Ophelia's. The other thing to keep in mind is that there really isn't much of a romantic aspect to it. Hamlet may have feelings for Ophelia, but that's only a supporting aspect of the play. I think the major themes have to do with Hamlet's mental state and the way that Hamlet and those around him react to his father's death and the rule of Claudius. There's also a pretty solid cast of supporting characters. Aside from who I mentioned, there's Laertes, who is Polonius's son and Ophelia's brother. You have Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, who went to school with Hamlet and are ordered to basically keep an eye on him and also be the eyes and ears for Claudius. One of the parts that sticks out is the play that Hamlet stages about a king, a queen, and a poisoner. And the poisoner kills the king and goes with the queen. In what Hamlet wants to act out, he wants that acted out so that the kingdom knows about how Claudius went about things. And the other thing that really stuck out was the way that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern's murders took place, because there was an order to kill Hamlet, but Hamlet, being as snarky as he is, in addition to that play that he produced, he also changes the names so that Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are the ones that are executed rather than himself, and then escape back to Denmark. But they don't find out until the end of the play about what happened. And it just takes a completely different direction compared to what you would often see, especially when it comes to a play that is very much based on a romantic aspect. The prime example is Romeo and Juliet. I would say that Hamlet is one of Shakespeare's stronger plays. It's very much, one cannot help but approach it critically. I mean, a playgoer could potentially see it for its entertainment value. But me being an English major, and I think when a lot of other readers are approaching Shakespeare more for academic reasons rather than leisurely or casual reasons, they're going to be more inclined to approach Hamlet in the way that they are looking for critical aspects and approach it in the way that they need to engage in a close reading in order to get the answers that they're looking for. And I think Hamlet is one of the biggest ones in doing so. I would say that out of the plays that I've read from Shakespeare thus far, and I would like to read more. I want to read everything that he himself has written. I would put Macbeth on top, Julius Caesar in second, and I have this tied with Measure for Measure. I would say that Measure for Measure has more of an entertainment quality to it, but I think that when it comes to quality in its structure, I would say that Hamlet is the stronger play. But I gave it a 4-star rating. I think that it's definitely worth reading, especially if you're making your way into Shakespeare's plays. Shakespeare's not necessarily my favorite, and I would argue whether or not we need to put him on the highest pedestal, because I wouldn't necessarily put anybody on the highest pedestal the way that Shakespeare has been placed. But I'm glad that I had the opportunity to revisit Hamlet, Prince of Denmark, and I would highly encourage you to check out a BookTube channel. Hasn't really been releasing as many videos, but she pops up here and there, and the channel's called Books and Questions, and she has a series called Finger Puppet Shakespeare, and it's very helpful when it comes to wanting to better understand Shakespeare's plays. She's done one for Hamlet, and she's done one for many of the others, so I would encourage you to check that out. Thank you for tuning into this video. I hope you check out some more videos from this channel, and I especially encourage you to check out the other Roundtable Read videos where other contributors have reviewed or discussed Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. We also discussed Hamlet in our second season. One of the panelists, Jackie, is an English teacher, and she really is an enthusiast for Shakespeare's plays. She took part in discussions for Hamlet and Macbeth. Thank you for joining in, and for now, keep reading.